Welcome to our exploration of the world's deadliest storms. These natural phenomena have left indelible marks on history with their sheer force and devastation. From the fury of cyclones to the relentless power of hurricanes, we will journey across the globe to witness the awe-inspiring and terrifying power of nature. Join me as we delve into the archives, examine scientific data, and hear first-hand accounts of survival. We will uncover the science behind these meteorological events, understand their devastating impacts on human populations, and learn valuable lessons about disaster, preparedness, and resilience. Over the course of this series, we will explore 5 of the deadliest storms in recorded history, each leaving behind a legacy of loss and a stark reminder of the immense power of the natural world. On the 12th of November 1970, a tempest of unprecedented scale, the Great Bhola Cyclone, slammed into the densely populated Ganges Delta. This was no ordinary storm. It was a monstrous system, packing winds estimated to be over 115 miles per hour. The true horror, however, lay not just in the wind, but in the wall of water it pushed ahead of it, a storm surge of unimaginable proportions. The low-lying islands and coastal regions of East Pakistan, present-day Bangladesh, and West Bengal were utterly unprepared for the scale of the disaster. Villages were wiped from the map, swallowed whole by the relentless surge. Hundreds of thousands of people, perhaps even more, perished in the deluge, their homes and livelihoods swept away in an instant. The Bhola cyclone remains a stark reminder of the devastating power of nature and the importance of disaster preparedness. The world watched in horror as the scale of the tragedy unfolded. The Bhola cyclone served as a tragic wake-up call, highlighting the vulnerability of coastal communities to extreme weather events. History often remembers the grand tragedies, the events that scar the collective memory of humankind. But some disasters, despite their devastating impact, fade into the background, their stories lost to time. The 1839 India cyclone is one such event. On the 25th of November, a monstrous cyclone, its true power unknown but undoubtedly immense, slammed into the coastal city of Karinga, India. A wall of water, a storm surge of unimaginable height roared ashore, engulfing the city and surrounding areas. Karinga, a bustling port city, was utterly obliterated. Ships were tossed inland like toys, buildings were reduced to rubble, and the coastline was redrawn by the sheer force of the storm. An estimated 300,000 souls perished in the cataclysm. The 1839 India cyclone serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive power of nature and the importance of understanding and respecting its fury. The lack of sophisticated weather forecasting at the time meant that the people of Karinga had no warning of the impending doom. The tragedy highlights the importance of early warning systems and the need for preparedness in the face of natural disasters. In the annals of history, there are moments when the sheer power of nature overwhelms even the most ambitious feats of human engineering. These events serve as stark reminders of our vulnerability and the unpredictable force of the natural world. The 1975 Typhoon Nina, a storm of immense power, provided one such example. This typhoon, which began as a relatively minor disturbance, quickly grew into a formidable force of nature. Nina, a relatively small typhoon at its genesis, underwent a process known as rapid intensification as it moved over the warm waters of the western Pacific. This phenomenon, where a storm's wind speeds increased dramatically in a short period, transformed Nina into a deadly tempest. It slammed into the coast of China with winds exceeding 130 miles per hour. The ferocity of these winds caused widespread destruction, tearing apart buildings and uprooting trees. While the wind caused significant damage, it was the torrential rainfall, dumping over 40 inches in some areas, that proved to be Nina's deadliest weapon. The relentless downpour led to severe flooding, overwhelming rivers and reservoirs. The Banqiao Dam, a structure designed to withstand a 1-in-1,000-year flood, crumbled under the immense pressure of the deluge. The dam, once a symbol of human ingenuity, became a testament to nature's supremacy. The dam's collapse triggered a domino effect, with over 60 other dams failing in quick succession. This chain reaction unleashed an unstoppable torrent of water, cascading through the landscape with devastating force. A catastrophic wave of water, carrying with it debris and mud, swept across the countryside, inundating villages and towns. The sheer volume and speed of the floodwaters left little time for residents to escape, leading to widespread loss of life and property. The official death toll was estimated to be around 26,000, but the actual number may be far higher, with some estimates exceeding 100,000. The aftermath of the disaster saw massive rescue and relief efforts, but the scars left by Typhoon Nina would linger for years. Typhoon Nina serves as a sobering reminder of the limits of human engineering in the face of nature's raw power. It underscores the need for continued vigilance, improved forecasting, and resilient infrastructure to mitigate the impacts of such natural disasters in the future. The bustling port city of Haiphong, Vietnam, found itself in the crosshairs of nature's fury on the 8th of October, 1881. This vibrant city, known for its strategic location and thriving trade, was about to face an unprecedented calamity. A powerful typhoon, its name lost to history, roared ashore, bringing with it a catastrophic storm surge that would forever alter the city's landscape. The storm's ferocity was unlike anything the residents had ever experienced. The typhoon, a monster storm with winds estimated to be over 100 miles per hour, had been churning in the South China Sea, gaining strength as it moved westward. Its path of destruction was inevitable, and Haiphong lay directly in its way. Haiphong, a city built on low-lying land at the mouth of the Red River, was particularly vulnerable to the storm's surge. The geographical location that once made it a prosperous port now rendered it defenseless against the impending disaster. As the typhoon approached, the sea began to rise, driven by the relentless force of the wind. The waters swelled ominously, signaling the impending doom that was about to befall the city. The storm surge, a wall of water estimated to be over 13 feet high, crashed into Haiphong, overwhelming its seawalls and defenses. The sheer power of the surge was enough to obliterate anything in its path. The city was inundated, its streets transformed into raging torrents. The once bustling avenues were now unrecognizable, submerged under the relentless floodwaters. Buildings crumbled, ships were tossed inland like driftwood, and the air was filled with the cries of the terrified and the dying. The devastation was total, leaving the city in ruins and its people in despair. The 1881 Haiphong typhoon remains one of the deadliest natural disasters to ever strike Vietnam, a grim testament to the destructive power of the sea when unleashed by a powerful storm. The aftermath was a scene of utter desolation, with countless lives lost and homes destroyed. The lack of adequate warning systems and the city's vulnerability to storm surges contributed to the devastating loss of life. The absence of modern meteorological tools meant that the residents had little to no time to prepare or evacuate. The 1881 Haiphong typhoon serves as a stark reminder of the importance of understanding and mitigating the risks posed by natural disasters. Today, advancements in technology and better preparedness can help prevent such tragedies, but the memory of Haiphong's suffering endures as a lesson for future generations. In October 1998, Hurricane Mitch, a slow-moving behemoth, unleashed its fury on Central America, leaving a trail of unprecedented destruction in its wake. The storm's sheer power and persistence were unlike anything the region had ever experienced. Unlike many hurricanes that make landfall and quickly move inland, Mitch stalled over the warm waters of the Caribbean Sea, intensifying into a powerful Category 5 hurricane. Its winds reached speeds of up to 180 miles per hour, making it one of the strongest storms on record. Its slow movement proved catastrophic, as it relentlessly pounded the region with torrential rainfall for days on end. The rain seemed never-ending, turning streets into rivers and fields into lakes. Honduras, Nicaragua, and Guatemala bore the brunt of Mitch's fury. These countries faced the most severe impacts, with entire communities being devastated. The torrential rainfall, exceeding 30 inches in some areas, triggered catastrophic flooding and landslides across the region. Rivers overflowed their banks, transforming once fertile valleys into raging torrents. The force of the water was so great that it reshaped the landscape. Entire villages were swept away, buried under tons of mud and debris. Homes, schools, and businesses were lost in an instant. The infrastructure of the region, already fragile in many areas, was crippled. The damage was so extensive that it would take years to rebuild. Roads and bridges were washed away, cutting off access to remote communities and hampering relief efforts. The isolation made it difficult for aid to reach those in desperate need. The human toll was staggering, with over 11,000 people confirmed dead and thousands more missing, presumed lost to the floods and landslides. Families were torn apart, and the search for the missing continued for months. Hurricane Mitch stands as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of slow-moving tropical cyclones and the importance of early warning systems and disaster preparedness. Investing in these systems can save lives and reduce the impact of such natural disasters in the future. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some of the world's deadliest storms. By learning from these past disasters, we can better prepare for the future and work to minimize the impact of these powerful natural events. While the storms we've explored serve as stark reminders of the destructive power of nature, they also highlight the resilience of the human spirit. In the face of unimaginable loss, communities came together to rebuild their lives and support one another. By understanding the science behind these storms, investing in early warning systems, and implementing sustainable development practices, we can create a safer and more resilient future for all.